All right, guys. I'm putting this in here. All right, guys. I went ahead and I took these bolts out just a few seconds ago. I had to pull off my distributor, which goes in that hole there. I went ahead and folded the wiring harness. Went ahead and put it up there. I had to take the shit off the battery, and I cracked this on the AC condenser or compressor. I also cracked this on the coolant temp sensor, so I need to get a new one of those. I did twist off two of the studs. Yeah, I guess you'll have that on a 27-year-old engine. So I was going to pry at this point here up against the cylinder head to get it off, but I didn't want to mess with the pan or the pan rail gasket, the valve cover rail. So I'll go ahead and pull this guy off real quick. There we go. Now we get another look at those roller rockers. So that's why you get a reusable gasket, folks. Same thing with my thermometer or thermostat. Reusable, baby. All right, like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and pry right here, and hopefully I can get this. Hope I can get her off. All right, took a lot of beating and prying, but just got her. It took maybe a couple minutes. I say a lot, but it wasn't that much. All right, so basically, oh shit. Try to keep as much shit out of there as possible. So this is what oh yeah. This is what an engine looks like without an intake manifold on it. Jesus Christ. All the shit that's in there. So I need to pull this intake or this gasket off and do my best to keep shit out of here. I got a little bit of water in there, but it wasn't too bad. And yeah, this stuff here, ooh, keep that out of the lifter valley. Anyway, I'll do my best to clean this up without getting in shit all over the place. I might just throw some shop towels down here and maybe wrap them around the push rods up there and try to clean this up real quick. But you can see this is this gasket here in the front and the back of the block is actually just silicone RTV, basically. So at some point I would like to go ahead and change the camshaft out and get a roller cam. Just nothing major, because I got a TBI on it, but I would like to keep the TBI but put like a mild roller cam in it and use stock roller lifters and use a stock you can see I got the bosses for the stock spider to hold to orient the lifters so they roll instead of turning sideways and grinding on the cam. All right, I got her I went ahead and stuffed rags in the intake runners. I'm not all that worried about the coolant ports. There's like soot. Use a valve cover bolt. Soot in the EGR port over there. It's like not so much soot. It's more like creosote. More like hard, crispy ash. Like carbon buildup or something. Anyway, well, you know what? How about we go look over at the compare these two intake manifolds. Now the Edelbrock one is supposed to be they say the Edelbrock one is about a 1/4 inch taller. You can see the intake. This is more of a true, well, I guess this is a true dual plane also. I didn't worry about dropping stuff in there. But you can see how, in order to ruffle up, to make the air a little bit more turbulent, to not lose the droplets of fuel, they've got this little, looks like a target setup. This here is more of a grid, which doesn't really matter, but that helps the air turn whichever direction. And I guess we can look at the port sizes. Yeah, go ahead and turn it all the way upside down, I guess. Oh, there we go. Got a little coolant dumping out. This one has a lot more meat around the ports. The Edelbrock does. Actually, I think they might be. Are they smaller on the Edelbrock? They might be trying to promote more port velocity, which would actually line up with what I've seen, but it's by no means they're probably pretty damn close. Maybe they just look smaller because they have such a big gap around them. Here, I'll grab the intake gasket and try to check it out. I was telling you about the intake ports. How one of them was, or the EGR port. One of them seemed really carboned up. Well, this one here was totally blocked off. This must be the one that was plugged up. So, anyway, give me just a second. I'll compare the intake side. You know what? I think the Edelbrocks are a little bit different. That's pretty close. It's actually upside down, but you can see a little bit of just the smallest bit of meat in there. This looks to me like there's a little bit less. Maybe they're pretty damn close. But I was thinking the Edelbrock might be a little bit smaller, which would help low end torque and help promote a little bit more port velocity for lower RPMs. Which this thing isn't a screamer anyway. Let's face it, she maxes out at or it shifts at 4,500 RPMs. So they say the max horsepower is at 4,000. So a little extra port velocity is not a bad problem. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this guy. Let's get some things swapped over and let's go ahead and slap this guy on. Actually, first I think I'm going to clean some of this up a little bit, trying to get these bolt holes a little cleaned up, and I need to get these broken off bolts. I got one back here and these two up here. That's why it was so hard to get loose, pop loose, because you can't lift straight up off these. So I had to kind of tweak the manifold a little bit, I think. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get to working on getting these guys out and getting this cleaned up. So hang on just a second. All right, to loosen a bolt, or loosen a stud that's busted off, I went ahead and put a bolt on, threaded it on, and tightened it up. Tightened up a second nut. Now hopefully this is going to work. I actually hit a button when I was swapping hands. Okay, excellent. Let's see how the stud is turning with those nuts. You basically have one jam nut. Oh, actually they're both jam nuts. I just tightened both of them on with a shallow socket. Hang on just a second. I'll loosen that guy up. Alright. Now I can get the outer nut off and then thread the rest out by hand. Like I said, even if you do, man, anyway, even if you do mess up some threads, jeez, come on, focus there, buddy. Come on. I might have shit on my camera. Hey, there we go. Even if you do have some, if you do break a bolt off, hopefully you can get it out with this little trick. Like I said, I'll try it again on this. Hopefully I can get all of them off. I'm not sure if you guys have seen my header video, but I had the same problem with my header. One of my, damn it. Come on there, buddy. Your autofocus. I probably have a bunch of shit on the lens or something. Alright. Well, this, yeah, I think that nut's stuck on there, so I'll head on in and grab another nut I have handy. I should be using a nut from those studs that hold on brackets and stuff. So I already know I have to run to town to grab a coolant temp sensor, which is on the front of that block, and I think that's about all I'll really need. Although now would be an awesome time to clean up those valve covers. Goo. I've had a kind of plan to put a different air cleaner. Sorry, so close there. I had a different plan to kind of redo or have a different air cleaner. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do a 360-degree open air cleaner, or just around 14-inch diameter by 3-inch tall, or a carburetor hat and just around a regular pipe and a regular pod air filter, to try to get more cool air. That's the only reason I have the stock air cleaner on there, is because I like having cool air from the fender, even though it's a muffler in there. It's a baffle to clean out. Yeah, it's stupid. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get these off real quick, and then I'll talk to you later.
Okay, you're recording.
Alright guys, this is an Edelbrock Performer TBI intake manifold, made in USA. That's the whole reason I'm slapping this guy on here. Anyway, Edelbrock recommends using a gasket cinch to stick your intake manifold to the block, or to the cylinder heads, before you slowly lower your intake down onto it. Also, on this particular motor down here, you need to run a bead of silicone RTV on the front and the back for the end seals, and then slowly and carefully, maybe not necessarily with one hand, lower your manifold in place. And I got some different bolts for them. Which I'll have to change out a couple of them. These are just 3/8 bolts. I went ahead and got grade 8. I figured I'd get blue so they match the rocker arms. We'll grab a few of these real quick. There's I guess there's 6 on each side. 6 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you need 12 total, if you can do the math. sure the gasket's in place. And like I said, I checked out the runners, and I think the Edelbrock runners are just a touch smaller, which I think will help with the torque right off the. It'll have more port velocity. It's kind of a ram air effect to the cylinder heads, so at lower RPMs it should actually build more power and therefore get a little better gas mileage. So that won't be too bad. I got $3 worth of bolts at my local Rural King, local hardware store. So I love the mower. All right, the torque sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So do these 4 in a spiral pattern, then do inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. You got to do those each 4 corners. But so tighten them down to 25 foot-pounds. I'm doing them in 2 steps, so I've already done 12 foot-pounds, and I'll hang on just a second. All right, got everything torqued down. Now I think I've got a wedding to go to this afternoon or this evening. So anyway, I'm just gonna slip the valve covers on for right now. Slap the distributor in place and call it good. It's running into town. Took a little bit of time. I've got a new vacuum hose. I got a new PVC valve. PCV. Oh, here's a new coolant temp sensor. So you not get me a. I guess I don't have a new PVC valve. Shit. Well, that's awesome. Anyway, I thought I had a PCV valve. Anyway, mine seems to be working okay. I know this isn't really technically a way to test it, but it does shake. It does rattle. It is nice and loose. If I spray stuff in this side, it comes out here. All right. But if I spray in this side, it doesn't go out. So it creates a vacuum in the crankcase, so it should be fine. But yeah, it's now it's starting to look like a little bit more of a performance engine. You know? Yeah, just take a look at that. Not too bad. Familiar with the injector pod on a GM throttle body unit? I tightened it up too much and I broke it off. I broke off the fuel adapter. So luckily I had another one laying around. These have big block fuel injectors in them though. Much higher flow. Actually the spray pattern looks quite a bit different. These have two apiece. This just has 1. So I don't know if that's a more efficient design or what. Because these are, I bought these in 2005 I think, and these are from 1990. So anyway, I would just swap the full on throttle body unit out, but the IAC motor, or maybe that's throttle position sensor. IAC is the same. This one's broken, but that one's still good. IAC's the same. but the throttle position sensor is a different design. So instead of repinning stuff, switching from 3 wires down to, oh okay, sorry, that is 3 wire, but I don't have the plug for this one anymore, so we'll just go on to, yeah, that was my early days. I just snipped the wires instead of sliding this this little rubber piece out of there. That grommet, where's the front of it? Yeah, right there. It slides right out. It's not a big deal to pull that off. Anyway, so I'm going to swap injectors from this injector pod to this injector pod, and then put it all back together, and then slap it back on the truck. I had my timing light installed, and then I noticed a little bit of fuel leaking, dripping, so I had to pull it all back apart. The reason I pulled it back apart is because I tightened up, not this one, but the one that's still in the truck yet. I tightened it up and snapped it, so we'll have to go with a slightly different design, so no big deal. But luckily I had one of these laying around. Like I said, the computer isn't tuned for these big injectors, so I'll have to put these injectors back on, and that's missing. Okay, the rubber piece came off out of the plug on the other one, so there's still a black rubber piece inside the actual pigtail. So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now, and that'll come off anyway. All I got to do is take these all off. The injector pod is only held on with 3 little screws. It goes in about like that. Like I said, three little screws, and that's all she wrote. So anyway, I'm going to get to swapping these injectors out real quick, and I'll be right back. Just pull the screws out, and then just grab the injector with a pair of pliers on this little center deal here. Don't grab the electrodes or the terminals, but just grab it right there, and they should pull straight out. There's an O-ring to seal them, and there's a little screen there that they there's a screen there that they filter the fuel. That's the inlet for fuel, and this is the squirter on the outlet. This entire little bowl fills up with fuel, and that's how they go. This little mark goes on a little dash spot on the inside. There's a little opening for it. Oh, can't really see it. Yeah, right there toward the center. That's where that little indentation goes. So I'm going to pull the injectors out of here, and then put them into here. That way I got my my correct threads on my fuel inlet and outlet. So I'll be right back. Hang on. I just peel all the screws off. This has not been opened in 30 years. So this should, hang on just a second, 27 years anyway. There we go. Alrighty. Slightly different design, but I think she'll still work. Anyway, here's this. Here's the injectors. So we'll go ahead and peel these guys out, and Now you can see the the difference in the injector squirter style. This is a big block fuel injector. This is a stock 350 one. I think this is 75 pounds an hour, and this is I think it's 65. I think. I don't remember exactly. It might only be 60. But anyway, like I said, this is more than enough to flow 190 horsepower. And I think I'm just going to leave these screens, the stock screens, on there because, you know, maybe when I do swap it out, maybe I will go ahead and put on the put these on, and when I get Mega Squirt going, you know. So I'll still have these laying around that I can swap out, and it doesn't take shit to pull these apart. So anyway, like I said, I'll go ahead and slap these in the new injector pod and put everything back together. All right, guys. Here's the injector pod that we're going to end up using on this old TBI unit. It's going to go like that. I've got a little spacer to lift this up a touch, but nothing major. Well, I've got this other one taken apart because I would like to use it at some point into that one. I'll go ahead and put this back together, put these injectors back in it, and put brass rings and all that back together and stuff in it. And give me just a second, I'll get that put back together, and that way I can put that back on the shelf for later use and go to this guy. Alright guys, now I got the fuel injector pod put back together. Or put back on. There's a rubber grommet hanging off. I tried to put it back on. I think it needs to go on the pigtail first. Anyway, ready to slap this bad boy back on. So the last thing I had to do is the air cleaner stud. I have a single air cleaner stud in the middle. If you have the dual air cleaner studs, there's a couple bolts with they're extra long bolts that have threads on both ends and a long, almost like a coupling nut. Just a long nut, just threaded on the bottom and threaded on the top, basically. Thread on the bottom for the metric thread and threaded on the top for the air cleaner studs. And if you have dual air cleaner studs, they come out up here, and both of them go through your air cleaner lid. Or if you have the single, I think most of them are threaded for this one anyway. So you can just get an air cleaner stud and bend it like I did with this one. Bend it close, and then, you know, you have to go around the injector pod there. So you have to go up straight up quite a ways, and then turn, and then straight back up. So mine's definitely not perfect. The one that I did from, hell, that was 12 years ago, something like that. So mine's definitely not perfect, but it got the job done. So anyway, I'll go ahead and bolt this bad boy back on. Let's fire this sumbitch back up. Just 3 bolts go on this bad boy. Like I said, then you get, you know, plug in a few different things here, a couple vacuum lines. You got to slide this grommet back into the throttle body until it clips. This is the one I'm missing. Alright guys, I got the timing light plugged in, and go ahead and set it for, I think the way I had it set before was 6 degrees. Now I forget. Before top dead center. And there's a little plug back there you have to unplug. I've got it on the #1 spark plug wire. There's a timing advance plug in. It's I think it's a single wire in there. It's a brown wire with a black stripe on it, I think. Let's see here. It's been a while. Give me a minute. I'll find it and give it. Yeah, this is it. It is a. There's the other half of it. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see that or not. You got crap. Here. This is the wire. It's like a tan colored wire with a black stripe on it. And it's behind the dang it. It's behind the relay cover. So you unplug that so that the distributor will see no advance at all. No computer controlled advance. That way you can actually control it from the ooh, that's a nice tight fit right there. Anyway, you unplug that so your computer won't see any advance, or won't be sending any advance to your engine. So that way you can set the base timing. So here's the first start. Hopefully, man, where are the keys? All right, just a couple seconds later. Like I said, first fire. Hopefully it works. Hey. All right, I've got 6 degrees of advance. Put on the timing light. Looks like I'm pretty far advanced right now. I got about 20 degrees advanced in there, dialed in. I'm gonna try not to shock the shit out of myself. Damn, naturally that tightened. Hang on just a second. I gotta loosen up the distributor hold down clamp and then give the distributor a little bit of a twist. Like I said, right now, I'm showing 20 degrees advanced. From the factory they want 0. I was going to plug in about 6. So it can idle okay like this, but you don't want to be driving it around. I mean, the computer is going to add some advance to it. It's never going to really run that good. But I'm surprised how quick it started up. So I need to get a little 9/16 bolt in there. There's a little clamp that goes down on top of the distributor cap, or on top of the extra distributor housing. Loosen that up, and that way you can twist the distributor. So I might have to pull off the air cleaner real quick to have a little easier access in there. But give me just a second, I'll be right back. All right, I was showing 6 degrees of timing advance before. Now I plugged the computer back in. Showing about 25. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, between 24 and 25 degrees is what I'm showing. What the computer has in advance. So me being a couple degrees off, a couple degrees advanced when I plugged everything back in. You know, I had the distributor twisted a few degrees, and that's all it takes to really throw your timing off. So I timing light back on.
It's back away. Let's take this bad boy out for a test drive.
Alright, pull one out of the driveway real quick. It is about 6:15. Yeah, I unplugged the battery and plugged it back in. So, apparently somebody's been walking by my mirror. That looks a little better. Two things, I'm gonna buckle up and then I'm also gonna roll my window. All my warranty information is gonna go everywhere. Hang on just a second. Check out the first drive. Is, I mean, it feels pretty strong. Feels good. Yep. Okay. The throttle feels just a little bit stiff, but that might be just because I've been driving my car for a week or two. So, feels good. Anyway, hang on just a second. I'll get to my 0 to 60 spot and we'll do a test real quick. Do a couple runs. All right, boys and girls, you know the drill. Cars behind me, so 3, 2. Try that again. 3, 2. Kind of a rough road. 3, 2. 3, 2. Three, two.